Look at these new revelations from the Paradise Papers. This is a huge leak of financial documents now showing Apple found a brand new tax haven after Ireland tightened its rules on its corporate tax haven status when the EU and the U.S. Senate were cracking down. The tech giant moved its untaxed offshore cash reserve to the Channel Island of, look at this, Jersey. This island has a 0 corporate tax rate. Did it to lower its bill. Apple is reportedly holding more than $252 billion in cash overseas. Let's look at the stock in Apple, the tech giant ending the day in the green. Let's bring in one of the best economists around, the very brilliant and smart former Reagan economic advisor, Art Laffer. Good to see you, Art.
Thank you very much. That's a nice introduction. Would you mind repeating that once again?
You're brilliant. You know what I love? I love that your name is Art
you,
Laffer because you have the best giggle in the world. Let me ask you something. Is Apple doing anything wrong?
Nothing wrong. No, they're obeying the laws, and they're doing exactly what the shareholders want them to do. I mean, if you own shares in Apple, would you want them to pay extra taxes and hurt your stock? No. I mean, this is what companies are supposed to do, and what jurisdictions are supposed to do is tax the proper tax base to collect the revenues. And obviously, a profits tax is not a very good tax. It discriminates against high-quality companies that make wonderful products cheaply and don't use lawyers and accountants. And with lots of profits, these guys seek places where they get taxed the least.
Yeah, and we got it. You know, the CBO has said anywhere from 25% to 70% of the increase in corporate taxes is paid for by workers or investors. But do you really think Apple will bring any of its cash overseas back home to create jobs if that corporate rate is cut to 20? I mean, they can borrow cheaply in the bond markets instead and leave that cash hoard overseas.
Yeah, well, it depends on how they cut it and what they do with the previous profits that they've made. Now, if they are required to match U.S. taxes and they paid a lot less, like they have to pay a 7.5% tax on the Irish profit because they're taxed 12.5% if it were 20. You know, I don't know if they would or not, but I don't see why they would. I mean, you know, they can do all the same things with them in their foreign incorporated subsidiary. So I don't think they'll bring it back unless they can get it back very, very cheaply to use here to create jobs.
Interesting.